Hi guys. Today I want to chat about the fun counteroffer, something I find so intriguing. And the number one most interesting stat is, did you know that 90% of people that accept a counteroffer will be gone within 1 year of accepting that counteroffer? Hang in to find out more interesting information on the counteroffer. If you like my content, please like. If you have any comments below, please comment. And if you like my overall content, please subscribe. This is a topic I really like to chat about, and so I found this cool article that throws out some stats. So let's start with the stats. So I mentioned the 90% within a year. It's actually 80% within 6 months. Um, Apparently 50% of people who accept a counteroffer, they're already looking again in 60 days. I guess about 57% of those that actually get offered a counteroffer accept it, and that's a crazy stat too. Um, and you know, there's a million other stats I can throw out there. Apparently, it's about 200% plus to rehire your role. These are all very, very interesting stats, and obviously calling to why you shouldn't accept a counteroffer, and that's my position as well. You will see a few articles sprinkled in there for accepting a counteroffer, but they're very unique scenarios. So item one, I think the area that's talked about the least is this really strong upfront preparation for determining why you actually want to leave your company. So I really think, again, I'm a big advocate of throwing on some meditation music. I really think it puts your mind in the right place. And then you open up a Google Doc, and I want you to really focus on four areas. So it's going to be leadership, the company, your overall just compensation, benefits, perks, and then personal. So as you kind of look at leadership, I think it's pretty common knowledge that most people don't leave companies or jobs. They leave because they have a bad manager. Uh, but a couple scenarios to think about. If you like your lead, great. Start thinking about the company. If you don't like your lead or manager, can you internally move into another role? And if it's a smaller company and you can't, and you don't like them, and you can't move off their team, that's probably going to be a pretty good indication that you should be looking for another job. Second, with the company, there's a lot to take into consideration. Do you like the company? Do you like the employees? Do you like the company mission? Do you like the culture? Is there a lot of red tape, politics? But if you like the overall company, this is great. But if there are any issues in there, again, another reason to potentially be looking to interview. Compensation, benefits, and perks. This is a big one. What most of the statistics say is that people don't actually leave jobs just based on compensation. But if that's your real motivating factor, the reason for writing this down is that you're knowingly taking the step of really preparing to go in and have those conversations about getting more compensation. I'll link that video up above at the end on how to ask for a pay raise. You really should be asking your company for this if you like them. Don't go out and get another offer to force their hand to give you more comp. Have that upfront conversation. If it's a benefit like remote work, you should be doing a trial phase and asking for a trial phase. To learn more about how to do that, read Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Work Week. And then maybe a perk. A perk might be traveling. You're a sales rep and you want to travel more. Well, you really got to push for that and talk about the benefits that you would receive. Because again, if it's really just this area of comp benefits and perks, that's something that you should be negotiating up front before you start interviewing. If you're happy with the other items, that's awesome, and you should focus on staying with your current company. The last piece is personal. I think that this item maybe isn't discussed enough. One, I think you need to always go back to your goals. And if you're not setting goals, I'll continue to emphasize that fact. But does this align with your goals, this position, the company, etc.? Does it align with your passions? Your not only your current passions, but your life passions. And then your personal, you might have a very unique scenario. You and your significant other just had a child and you want to be closer to family, and the company just doesn't have an office there. You don't have an opportunity in that different city. And that also would be a great reason to interview. I know that this might seem very basic, but the reason why you're going through this process and defining these items from the very beginning is this will make you so much less likely to accept that counteroffer that you shouldn't accept. So if you have a very outlined, thoughtful process, it's going to really, really help you. So let's flash forward and cover the quick part, which is you go in to resign and your lead or manager is caught off guard and they ask if they can have time to offer you a counteroffer or if you would accept more money. Your response should always be no, thank you. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have worked here. It was an amazing experience, and I really want to talk about a transition plan. Shut down the counteroffer 100% of the time, right when they go to offer it. It shows a lot of respect to say, hey, I've made my decision and I'm ready to move on. So, only a couple of major reasons that you will see as themes for not to accept. A huge one is trust. You have lost their trust. And you may not think that this is such a big deal, but this is going to play in their mind all the time. And losing that trust, hey, you might get more money, but it will likely come with more responsibilities, more work, more pressure, more expectations. But that trust piece, that's probably number one. And then secondly, they are doing what is financially responsible for the company, not for you. It is so much easier to throw 10 or 20K at you and then think about finding your replacement. Again, going back to that stat, it's over 200% of a cost to find somebody else. They have to go through the hiring process. They have to get that person hired and accepted, and then they have to train that person. Those all come at a significant cost. So remember, the counteroffer isn't really for you. It's just really to save face for them. I know personally that I had a couple of candidates accept counteroffers while I was a recruiter. I actually didn't have a lot, so that stat of 57% of candidates accepting a counteroffer, I think that sounds high. But I had a couple that did. I never tracked their career. I never followed up because the statistics told me that they were gone from that company within a year. And I knew that their decision-making process of when I told them to Google why not to accept a counteroffer, that they hadn't gone through that important process. I know that some of this stuff is very basic, but counteroffers can be very intriguing. There's a lot. It seems as though there's a lot less risk to stay with your current company, but it's just not the case. Don't accept that counter. I hope you like my content. If you have any comments below, please let me know. And if you like my overall content, please subscribe. Have a fantastic day. Thanks.